Part 2. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Hua Liao. Chapter 11. Bai Wei felt sorry for her daughter who had just been discharged from the hospital, and as soon as she returned to Xiaoanglu, she asked Mu Ziyi to go back to her room for an afternoon nap. Mu Ziyi was lying on the soft pink bed, but she didn't feel sleepy. The intimacy of Mu Zhenning and Xiao Jingjia appeared in his mind, and he was inevitably a little restless for a while. She simply sat up, trying to keep her head clear. Xiao Jingjia was an accident. Most of the people in the procuratorate are men. As one of her assistants, because she is also a woman, she is more willing to leave some private matters to Xiao Jingjia. Sometimes Xiao Jingjia was asked to go home to pick up lost documents, and sometimes Xiao Jingjia was asked to help pack the luggage when she went to other places to investigate cases. Xiao Jingjia had many opportunities to meet Mu Zhenning. But she didn't expect that Xiao Jingjia and Mu Zhenning would be familiar to such an extent that even the rest of the Mu family turned a blind eye to their intimacy, as if they were already used to it. So, Xiao Jingjia and Mu Zhenning have been dating openly in Mu's house, and she is still focused on her case without knowing anything about it. Mu Ziyi suddenly felt that her death was not wronged at all. Even the common saying of being a fan of the authorities can't cover up her stupidity. At the same time, she was also confused. When she dragged her exhausted body back home, Mu Zhenning greeted her with care and cared for her. When she announced that she was about to be promoted to a senior prosecutor, everyone in the Mu family showed their pride. Are these all fake? What on earth did they take her for? No one had ever told her about Xiao Jingjia. Everyone is hiding it from her. When Mu Ziyi thought of the pain, the aggrieved feeling of having nowhere to vent almost made her suffocate. Finding herself in a dead end, she struggled with deception and deception again. It didn't do her any good, and she couldn't get anything out of it other than making herself more miserable. Mu Ziyi came to the bay window and looked at the flowers and trees in the garden outside. Fresh green leaves, colorful flowers, plants always have the magic power of meditation. The sun is shining brightly, and the pale green curtain tassels are coated with a layer of warm light in the glow, which is warm and elegant. Mu Ziyi thinks that Bai Wei's taste is good, and every detail in this room is to her liking, and she is also glad that the original Mu Ziyi didn't mess around with the house. She sat by the bay window for a while, and finally calmed down. The current situation can be seen more clearly. Mu Zhenning seemed to be unaware of her murder. Xiao Jingjia was more interesting, repeatedly claiming that she committed suicide, and also mentioned insurance money. She did insure the highest amount of accidental casualty insurance during her lifetime. Prosecutors often have to face murderers and thugs. Because of the special nature of her work, she insured herself early in order not to leave her grandmother without a home. Later, when grandma passed away, the beneficiary of the insurance was changed to Mu Zhenning. What Xiao Jingjia said meant that she deliberately designed her accidental fall into the river in order to save Mu's property, and used the huge insurance money from suicide to help Mu Zhenning tide over the difficulties. Ah! She will be so great. The most ironic thing is that Mu Zhenning actually believed such a far-fetched reason. Who knows, maybe he secretly made an idea of insurance money long ago, and now it just happens to be smooth sailing. Mu Ziyi speculated darkly. Bang, bang, bang. Suddenly there was a knock on the door, and Bai Wei called her softly from outside, "Zizi, can I come in?" Mu Ziyi withdrew her chaotic thoughts, walked over and opened the door. Bai Wei smiled and said, "Your brother is going to bring his girlfriend home for dinner. I'm going to buy vegetables now. Is there anything you want to eat?" This is really strange, let alone bringing a girlfriend. Even Murong Cheng himself rarely comes to Bai Wei's place for dinner. Mu Ziyi was a little absent-minded, and replied casually, "I can eat anything." "Then let's burn a soybean and pig's trotter." Bai Wei counted the same with her fingers, and fish head with chopped pepper, taro balls, baby vegetables. Musy Eye looked at Bai Wei with a strange expression. Why are they all her favorite dishes? Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Hua Liao. Chapter 12. Bai Wei went shopping excitedly. In fact, this kind of thing can be handed over to the servants. Mu's house has a big kitchen, and Bai Wei can just ask the servant to prepare the menu and deliver it without even moving a finger. But Bai Wei obviously wants to do it herself, maybe she thinks it is more sincere. After Bai Wei left, Mu Ziyi was the only one left in Xiaoanglu. She walked around to familiarize herself with the environment, and soon saw Murong Cheng come back. He led a young girl and walked this way along the grey gravel path. The girl has a beautiful appearance, wearing a cherry pink plaid shirt and a lake blue long skirt with a wide skirt. Her long hair is combed into a herringbone braid, and she looks very youthful. Although I really don't want to see Murong Cheng, but now that Bai Wei is not here, Mu Ziyi can only reluctantly play the role of master. She said politely, "Mom has gone shopping for vegetables, please sit in the room first." "This is Sushi," and Murong Cheng introduced without entering the room, "my girlfriend." Then he said to Sushian, "My sister, Mu Ziyi." Sushian showed a friendly smile to Mu Ziyi, "Hello, you and your brother really look alike." The corner of Mu Ziyi's mouth twitched slightly. It seems that this girlfriend doesn't know much about the situation of Mu's family. She doesn't know that she is Bai Wei's adopted daughter and has no blood relationship with Murong Cheng at all. She half teased and half hinted, "Will it be similar? I think our personalities are very different. How gentle and friendly she is, Murong Cheng is arrogant and rude, how can he compare with her?" Murong Cheng was impatient to see the two getting close, and said coldly, "Let's go for a stroll in the garden," turned around and left. Su Xian hurriedly followed him. Murong Cheng had long legs and long strides, she had to quicken her pace to barely keep up. The two walked away one after the other. Mu Ziyi looked at their backs and snorted slightly, "Going to the garden? I think you are walking your dog, right?" Mu Ziyi couldn't understand Murong Cheng's casual attitude towards his girlfriend. She felt that there was no emotion in Murong Cheng's eyes, like a cold-blooded animal, selfish and indifferent, without the slightest consideration for his female companion. This Su Xian might soon become one of his many ex-girlfriends. I don't know what kind of nerves he got today, he actually took the woman home. After Bai Wei came back from shopping, Mu Ziyi told her that Murong Cheng and his girlfriend had arrived. Bai Wei was very excited when she heard this, but also a little nervous. She pulled Mu Ziyi and asked her if she wanted to change clothes, whether this dress was suitable, and gave Mu Ziyi the illusion that the status of mother-in-law and daughter-in-law were reversed. "Mom, you should go cook first, and then change your clothes," Mu Ziyi suggested. "That's right, it will smell of oily smoke, I'd better change it after cooking," Bai Wei murmured, devoting herself to the kitchen. It didn't take long for the aroma of the food to waft out. Mu Ziyi is a bit hungry. It's been a long time since she had a good meal. Needless to say, when he was a ghost, after rebirth, because the original body was drinking too much and hurt his spleen and stomach, he could only be raised with clear soup and little water every day in the hospital. But today is different. Today, it's all her favorite dishes. She watched eagerly in the dining room downstairs, watching Bai Wei bring out all the delicious food. Seeing her greediness, Bai Wei couldn't help laughing, took a piece of taro ball and fed it into Mu Ziyi's mouth. "Taste for me, how about salty?" You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Hua Liao. Chapter 13. The taro balls are slightly hot and melt in the mouth, full of fragrance, waxy, crisp and soft. Mu Zi's gloomy mood all day was instantly healed by delicious food. Too delicious. The saltiness is just right. Well, it's delicious. She didn't dare to boast too much, lest she look like she had never tasted Bai Wei's cooking. Bai Wei smiled, "If you like to eat, I will make it for you every day from now on." Mu Zi nodded immediately, feeling in her heart, "It's good to have my mother hurt." The two of them set the table and chopsticks in the dining room, and before Murong Cheng came back, Bai Wei went back to the room and changed. She really attached great importance to this meeting, not only changed her clothes and combed her hair, but also sprinkled some perfume, lest the future daughter-in-law would smell the smell of oily smoke and leave a bad impression. Mu Zi couldn't bear to puncture Bai Wei's fantasies. With Murong Cheng's cold attitude, she felt that Su Xian would have to practice for a long time if she wanted to become Bai Wei's daughter-in-law. Maybe you have to go through several thunderstorms before you can achieve a positive result. Mu Zi sat in Bai Wei's room, resting her chin on her hands and thinking about it. Bai Wei frowned and waved at her, "Come here, let me show you something nice." Mu Zi blinked, got up and went over. Bai Wei held a red embroidered purse in her hand, and gently untied the knot, revealing a jade bracelet from inside, emerald green about to drip, and the waterhead was excellent. Even though Mu Zi doesn't understand jade, he can tell that this is definitely a treasure. "Your grandmother left this to me, and asked me to pass it on to my daughter-in-law. Look, isn't it beautiful?" Mu Zi doesn't quite understand Bai Wei's state of mind. Is it true that when a woman reaches a certain age, she can't wait to be a mother-in-law? She looked at this delicate and transparent bracelet, swallowed her saliva, and replied, "Pretty is beautiful, that is." Bai Wei was stunned. "What is it?" "That's right, not enough." Mu Zi looked sincere. She really thinks about Bai Wei. Murong Cheng's virtuous deed, without 10 or 8 bracelets, is definitely not enough. Bai Wei stared blankly at her daughter, and it took her a long time to react, and said with a smile, "You child, why are you entertaining your brother?" Mu Zi, he. I entertain him. Dating is as careless as walking a dog, he's just entertaining people, right? Bai Wei put away the bracelet, looked in the mirror for the last time, and felt that she was indeed dignified and decent, so she went downstairs with confidence. She said to Mu Zi, "Go and ask your brother to come back for dinner." Mu Zi was helpless. This kind of errand work, adults seem to like to leave it to children. The back garden of the Mu family is not small. The deceased old man liked the garden scenery, so the back garden has been expanded several times. After Mu Zi went out for a stroll, she looked around, but she didn't see Murong Cheng and Su Xian. She reckoned that the scenery by the lake was good, and they might have gone to the lake, so they went there to look for it. Sure enough, I saw the two people on the other side of the artificial lake from a distance. It was a little far away. Mu Zi didn't want to shout loudly, and planned to walk slowly along the trestle by the lake. She walked all the way, looking at the two people on the other side. They should be walking, but they are different from ordinary young couples. They neither hug shoulders nor hold hands. The two are several meters away, looking a bit weird. Su Xian admired the flowers in front, and Murong Cheng followed behind. He didn't lead the way and didn't speak. He seemed quite impatient, and actually stopped to light a cigarette halfway, which made Su Xian very embarrassed, and couldn't walk around alone, so he had to look at the flowers nearby to relieve the embarrassment of the scene. Mu Zi shook her head and sighed. "Don't know how to pity and cherish jade at all, scumbag, scumbag. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again." Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 14. At this time, Su Xian seemed to be frightened by the insects among the flowers, so she let out a soft cry. Murong Cheng was still smoking lazily at the side. After Su Xian screamed and hid for a while, he unhurriedly threw the cigarette butt, rolled it twice and walked over. Alas, It's too scumbag. Muzi I couldn't stand it anymore. She felt that Su Xian must have lost her mind to be a girlfriend to a scumbag like Murong Cheng. After being slandered, she suddenly remembered that her husband seemed to be a scumbag too. Murong Chenjua, at least the flower is enough to be seen, but what about Mu Zening? Seemingly loyal, but in fact, I don't know how many times she has cheated, calculated in this way, she is the one who has lost her mind, right? Well, after soaking in the river for so long, she must have a lot of water in her mind. Muzi I walked unhurriedly on the plank road. There were hurried footsteps ahead. She raised her eyes, and saw Murong Chen walking towards her with a sullen expression on his face. Muzi I was startled. What happened? Aren't you on a date? Why such a fierce expression? She was about to ask, but Murong Chen passed her by very quickly and left. Su Xian staggered and followed behind, her eyes were slightly red, and her expression was a little weeping. Hey, you! Muzi I looked at the two people who were leaving in a daze, feeling baffled. This is a quarrel? But she didn't hear the quarrel. As expected, it was Su Xian who couldn't stand the scumbag's cold face, and proposed to break up, but the scumbag turned into a rage and left with his hands. Are they breaking up? It's time to break up? Muzi I went back in a daze. She didn't dare to speak directly to Bai Wei, and only explained vaguely. The two of them looked very anxious. Before I had time to speak, they left. Maybe there is something urgent. After hearing this, Bai Wei looked very disappointed. I prepared a table of meals with great interest, and it turned out like this. Muzi I looked at her expression, and asked in a low voice, Mom, can I have dinner? Bai Wei came back to her senses, looked at Muzi I with a gentle smile, Zi must be starving, let's eat first, don't wait for them. Muzi I heaved a sigh of relief, picked up the chopsticks and was ready to start. Unexpectedly, Murong Chen came back at this time. She immediately stretched her neck and looked out, but she didn't see Murong Chen's girlfriend, so she knew that Su Xian was sent away. Are you a goose? Give me back your neck. Murong Chen was in a bad mood and scolded her as soon as he entered the room. Muzi I was stunned for a moment, then smiled. I'm in such a bad mood, could it be because I was dumped? His face was gloating and he didn't hide it. Murong Chen was furious immediately. Muzi I was even more proud. Who told you to call me a goose? I want to poke your sore spot. Bai Wei was afraid that the siblings would quarrel, so she quickly stopped between them. Rong Chen, wash your hands and prepare to eat, the food is getting cold. Murong Chen glared at Muzi I with a black face, then turned and went to the bathroom. Turn on the faucet, and the tap water is flowing, clear and cool. He splashed some water on his face, looked at himself in the mirror, and felt more and more angry in his heart. The entire chest was filled with flames of anger. Burning. What he resented was not his sister's ridicule, nor Su Xian's strangeness, but himself. I deliberately brought Su Xian back to see if she has any impression of the place where she once lived. But Su Xian's reaction was wrong. Nothing is right. The cluster of cannas by the lake is Su Zi's favorite, but Su Xian's eyes only linger on roses and tulips. Could it be that if a person loses his memory, even his preferences will become different? Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 15. There is also the big spider under the magnolia tree. The gardener thought it was unsightly and wanted to get rid of it. Suzy I stopped him with a worried face. Spiders are beneficial insects, and they were mascots in ancient times. If you see a spider walking along a spider, the silk slides down, implying good luck from heaven. Later, he heard Suzy I chatting with Mu Zening about this matter in private. She said, I just think that it took so much effort to form a net with great difficulty, but when someone poked it with a broom, it was all gone. I feel so pitiful. Her kindness is always different. She didn't pay attention to the stray cats and dogs on the street outside. Instead, it was the webs that spiders worked hard to weave, the nests that swallows worked hard to build, and the food that ants worked hard to carry. They always aroused her pity. Rather than saying that she is caring, it is better to say that she cherishes all the fruits of hard work, which has something to do with the environment in which she grew up. Because of Susie's protection, the spider thrived in the back garden of Mew's house, and the spider web became bigger and bigger. Su Xian saw it, but yelled in horror. At that moment, his mood was really bad, terrible, terrible, terrible. He didn't even bother to say perfunctory words of comfort, he directly called the driver at home and took Su Xian back. Murongcheng turned off the faucet, his anger subsided a little, but he was still upset. He hated the feeling of being out of control. When going out, Murongcheng heard Bai Wei's melancholy sigh. He is already 24 years old, and he hasn't had a serious job all these years. I'm just doing nothing. Now that I understand the responsibility, maybe it will be better. I said from the side, Mom, don't be disappointed, with my brother's efficiency, maybe I will bring you a new daughter-in-law back next week, bring a bunch of them. You can pick whatever you want. Murongcheng could barely hear the jokes and ridicule in these comforting words. Bring a string? Are you a candied horse when your daughter-in-law? This girl has become more and more arrogant since she was discharged from the hospital, it's almost the rhythm of rebellion. Murongcheng returned to the dining room with a gloomy face. But Muzhi didn't care about his expression at all. She picked up her chopsticks and said happily to Bai Wei, everyone is here. Now we can serve dinner. Saying that, I couldn't wait to pick up a piece of braised soybean trotter. The crispy and tender pig's trotters are her favorite. Muzhi looks very experienced in eating pig's trotters. She sucks it first, and the salty and thick soup sucks up the collagen on the surface. Tendons and meat. The way he eats is not elegant, but he is not rude either. He is polite, a little frank and playful, and looks pretty good. Murongcheng didn't have much appetite at first, but when he saw that she was eating well, he actually became a little hungry. He picked up a piece of pig's trotter, tasted it, and felt that it was sticky to his mouth, so he put down his chopsticks and raised his hand to get a tissue. Isn't it to your liking? Bai Wei glanced at the pig's trotters in Murongcheng's bowl, and said, there doesn't seem to be much meat in that piece. Then he picked up a thicker pig's trotter and put it into Murongcheng's bowl. Muzhi felt heartache. Judging by Murongcheng's appearance, he doesn't know how to eat pig's trotters at all. Putting such delicacies in his bowl is simply wasteful. Muzhi felt wronged for the pig's trotter. What a pity to take 2 bites so hastily and leave it on the table after careful cooking. Where is the dignity of food? She picked up the chopsticks in the soybeans and silently put the last piece of pig's trotter into her bowl. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Blessed to have each other in this life, Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 16. You are good at eating, there is not one left. Murongcheng looked at her coldly, thoughtfully. Braised soybeans and pig's trotters are Suzi's favorite dish, and he intended to use it to test Su Xian. But now, it has filled Muzhi's stomach. Muzhi sucked her chopsticks, blinked her bright and clear eyes, and jokingly said, brother, pig's trotters can beautify your skin, let's leave it to women to eat. What kind of woman are you? Murongcheng sneered. A woman who is growing after the food. Muzhi's mood was not affected at all, and she had a smile on her face. She squinted and smiled like a peach pistil blooming in early spring, charming and pure, and because of her young age, she showed a bit of cunning and playfulness, which was very attractive. Murong Cheng couldn't remember how long it had been since his younger sister smiled, and he always felt that her expression now seemed somewhat similar. By chance, Murong Cheng blurted out and asked, "Why don't you eat that dish?" Not all of the sumptuous dishes are Suzy I's favorite, there is one dish that Suzy I never touches. Muzi I's eyes fell on the garlic loofah in front of her. She doesn't eat loofah. I once heard a joke that a loofah looks like a snot, and since then I can't look directly at the loofah. The fried loofah is green and oily, soft and slippery, and even the taste is somewhat similar to snot. Bai Wei saw that Muzi I was only staring at the dishes and didn't move her chopsticks, so she also asked her aloud, "Why, don't you like this? Occasionally, you should also eat some fruits and vegetables, don't be picky eaters, this way the nutrition will be balanced." In all honesty, the garlic loofah made by Bai Wei looks very good. The sliced loofahs are arranged neatly, covered with crystal vermicelli, and topped with diced red carrots. They are paired with green loofahs, which are bright in color and look very delicious. Maybe it's because the loofah in front of me hasn't been fried so sticky and greasy, maybe it's because she has confidence in Bai Wei's craftsmanship. Muzi I really stretched out her chopsticks and caught one. Murong Cheng kept staring at her until she swallowed that loofah whole. Muzi I smiled and said, "Mom, every dish you cook is delicious." Bai Wei was overjoyed by her daughter's sweet talk. At the same time, Murong Cheng's eyes had completely cooled down. Muzi I felt that Murong Cheng was uncertain, like a psychopath. "Brother, don't you want to eat?" Muzi I was stared at by him for a long time just now, and now he inexplicably wants to say something. "Are you already full of anger after arguing with your girlfriend? You eat." Murong Cheng glanced at her up and down, "Eat more to grow taller, short onion." Muzi I narrowed her eyes slightly, "Thin toothpicks." If there is a disagreement, the mutual attack mode will be turned on. Murong Cheng was furious, "You say it again." Muzi I immediately moved to Bai Wei's side, "Mom." Bai Wei had a headache, and while protecting Muzi I, she turned her face and said to Murong Cheng, "Why are you losing your temper? Zi is just joking with you." Murong Cheng was furious, she said I was. That word is simply the greatest insult to a man. I know, didn't she just say that you are thin? The pure and kind Bai Wei couldn't hear the deep meaning in it, and said naturally, "You called her short first, Rong Cheng, you are a big brother, you shouldn't be like this, say sister." Muzi I shrank behind Bai Wei, and raised her chin provocatively at him. Murong Cheng was extremely angry, pointed at Muzi I with one hand, and said sharply, "Mom. Are you spoiling her like this?" Bai Wei persuaded her kindly, "Zizi is still young." Muzi I held the bowl and stood behind Bai Wei gnawing on the pig's trotters with peace of mind. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 17. Murong Cheng was so angry at her leisurely look that he was about to explode. But his mother has been partial to Muzi I since she was a child, and she has no lower limit. Murong Cheng got up and walked out. "Don't eat. I'm going out to drink." "Hey? Why are you going out again? Are you coming back tonight?" Bai Wei was very worried about her son's frequent outings, but she couldn't control him. Muzi I said sarcastic words on the side, "Mom, my brother is looking for a daughter-in-law for you, you can let him go, maybe he will have a grandson soon." Murong Cheng outside the door. "I really want to go back and strangle her." Murong Cheng went to Huake Royal Hotel. It is said to be a hotel, but it is actually more like a large-scale comprehensive entertainment city. In addition to the huge hotel, there are also casinos, KTVs, bars, nightclubs and indoor gymnasiums. When Murong Cheng was on the outside, he was no different from other rich dudes here, but after walking a while and entering the special elevator, he changed his cynicism and seemed to be a different person. Her black eyes were sharp, her thin lips were lightly pursed, and her calm and introverted air showed an air of aloofness, which was very extraordinary. The elevator goes straight up to the top floor and reaches another world. There is no noisy music, singing and dancing, no dazzling slot machines, only a long corridor connecting a heavily protected room. The bodyguards on both sides bowed their heads and lowered their upper bodies slightly, saluting respectfully. "Call Wang Zhan over here." Murong Cheng dropped a sentence and walked straight into the room. The overall tone of the room inside is dark, the black decoration style is stable and majestic, and the black is decorated with red, which is noble and mysterious, and it fits Murong Cheng's temperament very well, giving people a stunning feeling. Murong Cheng sat down on the black leather sofa, loosened his neckline irritably, and lit a cigarette for himself. While swallowing the clouds, the man's handsome face showed a bit of bloodthirsty ruthlessness. When Wang Zhan walked to the door and saw this scene, his heart skipped a beat. Murong Cheng seldom smokes. If you see him smoking, there is only one reason, and that is, his current mood is very, very bad, terrible. Wang Zhan walked over cautiously. "Master, are you looking for me?" Murong Cheng didn't look at him, his eyes fell on the fiberglass coffee table in front of him, his eyes were deep and mysterious. "Did you find Huang Logui?" he asked. Wang Zhan's forehead began to break out in cold sweat. "I didn't find it, our people have turned his broken yard upside down, and several nearby traffic arteries have also been closely watched, but there is no news yet." Murong Cheng exhaled smoke, and said nothing with a gloomy face. Wang Zhan looked at his face and said in a low voice, "Master, don't worry, the old man took so much gold from us, and he can't run far away. I also have people watching the gold shop and pawn shop." Murong Cheng didn't continue to ask Huang Logui's whereabouts, but instead asked Wang Zhan, "You said, is it really possible to resurrect the soul with a dead body?" Wang Zhan was taken aback by the question. The person introduced by Boss Chiu must not be wrong. He was quick-witted and turned quickly, and immediately asked, "Master, is it Su Xian? There is a problem." Murong Cheng put the cigarette butt out in the ashtray. "Even if Su Zi loses her memory, she shouldn't be like her." Wang Zhan said hesitantly, "The time, place, and date of birth are all done according to Huang Logui's request, so it shouldn't be wrong, Lord. We spent a lot of effort to find the suitable body, or, wait a little longer." Murong Cheng raised his eyelids and cast a cold glance at him. Wang Zhan smiled stiffly. "I mean, maybe it's not time yet? Maybe in a few days, the ghost will be on my body. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again." Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 18. Murong Cheng's originally gloomy face turned completely dark to the bottom. "The word ghost upper body is really ugly." Wang Zhan broke out in a cold sweat. He said incoherently, "I mean, the soul returns to the body, the human soul is one." "Yes, the human soul is one." Murong Cheng withdrew his gaze, and said in a cold voice, "Continue to stare at Su Xian. Before I succeed, I don't want to see any damage to the body. When I find Huang Logui, I will arrange for him to do the ritual again." Wang Zhan quickly nodded in agreement, and said cautiously, "Master, there is no other order, I will go down and make arrangements." Murong Cheng frowned. "Choose one of the companies under the group and give me a job." He also finds it annoying that Bai Wei always tells him that he is not doing his job properly. Wang Zhan knew the elegant meaning after hearing the strings, and knew that Murong Cheng didn't intend to continue acting as a dandy, but Murong Cheng's real identity was too sensitive, so it was best to need a decent job on the outside. Moreover, this job has to be an idle job, and he can't really ask him to clock into work every day. Hangzin Real Estate can arrange a vice president position. Recently, we have acquired a number of network technology companies, and the position of president is vacant. Look. Murong Cheng looked at him like an idiot. "The first job is to be the president." Wang Zhan squeezed out a flattering smile. Master, aren't you afraid of lowering your status in other positions? If you are worried about being suspected, we can buy a small company. As long as you say that you started your own business, no one will be suspicious of. Rich second-generation rich people like to do this, take some pocket money to set up a company as the boss. Let's not talk about the profit for now, anyway, it looks good. The idea Wang Zhan came up with fits Murong Cheng's external personality quite well. Let's make arrangements. Murong Cheng stopped looking at him, leaned on the sofa and lit another cigarette for himself. Knowing that he was in a bad mood, Wang Zhan didn't dare to stay and make trouble, so he left the room quickly. Murong Cheng's mood was impetuous. He walked to the table with a cigarette in his hand, picked up the photo frame on the table. The person in the photo is Suzy I, who looks much younger than her actual age, and is dressed innocently as a student. Murong Cheng looked at the smiling girl in the photo, breathing heavily. Suzy I, where are you? Late at night, there is only the sound of insects in the darkness. The first night Muzi I slept in Xiaoanglu was not at ease. She dreamed of the starry summer night when she died. That day was the first anniversary of her and Mu Zenning's wedding. Because of the company's difficulties, Mu Zenning hadn't relaxed for a long time, and he didn't know if it was to make up for it. He had a whim and wanted to hold a party on a luxury yacht, and invited a few relatives and friends who were close to him. The yacht docked in the middle of the river, and everyone gathered to drink and have fun. Her assistant Jiao Jingjia found her and said that Mu Zenning had prepared a mysterious gift for her at the bow of the boat. She was invited to go to the bow of the boat, but she didn't see Mu Zenning, so she leaned on the railing and waited quietly, enjoying the night view of the river. As a result, someone pushed him off the boat from behind. Really useless. She had arrested so many criminals, but she was killed by someone, and she didn't even see who the murderer was. This dream made Muzi I very uncomfortable. She woke up clutching her heart, opened her eyes, and suddenly saw countless grimaces floating in the room. Horror and horror. Ah! Muzi yelled out in shock at the sight in front of her. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Hua Liao. Chapter 19. Bai Wei from the next room rushed over almost immediately and slammed on the door vigorously. Zizi. Zizi. What's wrong with you? Muzi I opened the door with a pale face, as if she was still in shock. No. It's nothing, it was just a nightmare. Bai Wei has always loved her like a child. Hearing this, she took Muzi I into her arms and patted her on the back. How could you have a nightmare? You must be terrified. Don't be afraid, Mom will accompany you tonight. Sleep. No need, I'm really fine. Muzi I smiled dryly. It's just a dream, Mom, go to sleep. Bai Wei looked at her worriedly. Are you all right? Well, it's really fine. After persuading Bai Wei to go back, Muzi I took a deep breath and closed the door again. She is not a timid person, just because she was unprepared just now. After Muzi I made a mental presupposition for herself for a while, she turned off the lights in the room. When the surroundings fell into darkness, different scenes gradually appeared on the walls, filled with violence, blood, and scenes like hell. Just now she was frightened by the paintings on the wall. Muzi I walked to the wall, stretched out her hand and gently picked it. This should be painted with a special kind of paint, which is colorless and odorless, and can't be seen normally. Once it is in a dark environment, it will emit red fluorescence. The owner of the painting is undoubtedly the original Muzi I. Thinking about how lucky she was that the other party didn't ruin the house today, it turned out that it wasn't that they didn't ruin the house, but it was all on the wall. Musei leaned against the wall and watched bit by bit. The more you look at it, the more frightened you become. The content in the painting is either to twist the head off, or to break the intestines. The whole is a picture of purgatory. While she was frightened, she felt pity. This 16-year-old girl is either autistic or severely depressed, otherwise she wouldn't draw these things in her room. Maybe Musa didn't cut her wrists to save her boyfriend who fell in love with her early, maybe, the broken love was just the last straw that weighed on her heart. The heavy psychological burden made her choose a road of no return. These things on the wall need to be cleaned up, in case someone finds out, she can't explain it. There are two young girls frequently appearing in the painting. Although the painting is abstract, it can still be seen that they are Mu Yun and Mu Ling. They must have often bullied Musei, so in Musei's paintings, the two suffered almost all imaginable abuse. Xiao Musei hated this place, hated everyone here. You and I, now we have the same fate. She stroked the paintings on the wall and muttered to herself. Waking up from a nightmare in the middle of the night, and seeing such a magnificent painting on the wall, Musei didn't feel sleepy at all. Paintings, there must be a way to get rid of them, otherwise it would be too scary to see them every night when I opened my eyes. After thinking about it, the little girl is really pitiful. She died after only 16 years in this world, and these paintings are probably the only ones left. She wanted to take a picture of the painting on the wall as a souvenir for the original owner. Musei found a tablet computer, called up the camera function, and took pictures of the pictures on the wall one by one. Pat, clap, faintly feel something is wrong. She frowned and stopped the movement of her hands. These paintings, all seem to have the same angle. Once again, he carefully looked at the fluorescent painting on the wall, and then turned his head to look at the bay window. The curtains have been drawn. She pulled it back and pushed open the glass window. Outside, the moon is sparse, and everything under the moonlight is both clear and hazy. Musei compared and compared for a while, and finally understood. The paintings on the wall are not graffiti, but seen through this window. Blessed to have each other in this life, Mu Shao, your wife is born again. Author, Hua Liao. Chapter 20. The location of the room is very special, just avoiding the lush trees in the garden, and you can directly see the villa in front. It's just that no matter how good your eyesight is, you can't see the inside of the villa clearly. In one of the paintings, Mu Ling was practicing the piano in the room, and the piano turned into a monster bit off her finger, dripping with blood. Musei noticed that the arrangement of furniture in this painting was indeed the same as that of Mu Ling's room. But the two sisters hate Musei, it is impossible to take her to their room. There must be something hidden here. She looked around, trying to find something. She thinks it's a telescope, or a camera with a telephoto lens. Bai Wei tidies up the house for her daughter every week, so that things will not be hidden too deep. And a room, where you can hide things, is actually very limited. Her gaze was slowly searching, and after confirming a few suspicious places, she searched carefully. She guessed right. Binoculars, cameras, everything is there. She also found an iron box under the bed, which was full of photos. The number of photos is astonishing, roughly estimated to be close to 100. Most of the faces in the photos have been scratched by sharp weapons, and the identity of the person can only be identified by clothing. There were Mu Yun and Mu Ling, as well as the youngest and second youngest of the Mu family, even she and Mu Zhenning were photographed several times. Looking at these photos, she was so shocked that she couldn't recover for a long time. Who would have imagined that a 16-year-old girl silently peeped at the lives of everyone in the Mu family without anyone knowing about it? Creepy. Musei flipped through the photos one by one, and finally, his eyes stayed on one photo. Her expression became subtle, the corners of her lips were slightly raised, but her eyes were stained with a layer of frost. Good luck. These photos will come in handy in the future. In the morning, Muzi wore a black t-shirt, paired with ordinary jeans and canvas shoes, and went downstairs with a relaxed expression. She tied her thick black hair back with a fluffy ball head, which is both refreshing and generous, but also playful and cute. Although she was wearing black clothes as before, because of her different temperament, she was no longer gloomy and deep, but looked like a girl. Vitality. The servant has already delivered the breakfast, and there are egg skin pancakes, chestnut porridge, water chestnut cake and fresh shrimp wonton noodles on the table. Bai Wei was sipping porridge. When she looked up and saw her daughter, she smiled gratifiedly. Have you rested yet? Come and have breakfast. If you don't have something you like, Mom will make it for you. Muzi sat at the dining table, took a piece of horseshoe cake and ate it slowly. At this time, the people at the villa must be eating too. Because of Mu Ling's accident yesterday, Qiao Jingjia couldn't take away the contents of the storage box immediately. If you want to know what's inside, now is the best time. It's just time to go downstairs to have breakfast. Mu Zhenning will not lock the door, and the servants usually don't go upstairs to clean up after 9 o'clock in order to avoid disturbing the masters. She glanced at the clock on the wall. There is still 20 minutes to spare. Mom, we can't finish eating so much. Why don't we ask brother to come over and eat together? Muzi said casually. Bai Wei froze for a moment, unable to react to her sudden proposal. Muzi got up with a smile on her face. Our family should have breakfast together occasionally. Bai Wei was a little confused, not sure what she wanted to do. The relationship between brother and sister has always been estranged and indifferent. It is really strange that the younger sister suddenly wants to dine with the older brother. But before Bai Wei could ask any more questions, Muzi had already left happily. Bai Wei looked at her daughter's back and really wanted to say, your brother may still be sleeping.